I said I wasn't gonna do it today, but I just gotta get it out because Hall gave me a lot to talk about in this video, and especially once I got to the end, it was like, yeah, okay, well, let's just do it now. So, yeah, let's just start the video.
Hello, gamers.
Hello.
Guess what this is? It's a good
It's a good old-fashioned sub 5 analysis.
old-fashioned commentary and
Oh
analysis
fuck, I remembered it wrong. Okay, whatever.
for Sub 5 of Stranded Isle. Zar got one?
Zar
It's
did.
common courtesy
Congrats, Zar. I didn't even say that. I didn't even say that in my video. Congratulations, Zar.
to do one if someone Sub 5s, and Zar has. I've done me and Armin. It's time
Zar
for
has. You'll do me
If you haven't seen
next.
the previous two, you probably won't get as much explained here as you would want, but the other two
Reasonable.
do a much better job of it, like just explaining the game in general.
Yep. Reasonable.
I'm gonna assume
Assume
in this
that we've
particular
played it.
like video
Yeah.
that you are aware of how the Stranded Isle speedrun route goes. So like the list and all that, but like there's
Which
a
makes
lot of
sense because this
intricacies
video
that I'm
is
very
mostly
aware
for people who run the game anyway. I can see how it would be interesting to someone who is new to the game, but really, you're not gonna appreciate it as much if you're not experienced enough.
of. And I'll just walk you through it. I'm gonna pretend you've run the game for a day at least. Okay? There you go. All right, let's go. So, first things first. Passes on this seed. That's fine.
So, here's the thing: is like your analysis of why this seed is bad. It's correct, right? Like this is not an ideal zombie place. I would have run this. At least until I noticed the ladder wasn't down here, I would have run this seed. Which, like, again, I don't want to say your analysis is wrong. I just.
There's won't be a good question. It did. So,
But, okay, so
uh,
about this seed being questionable, wholeheartedly disagree. I don't think that at all.
this though,
I want to hear your reasoning because
I
I don't remember it
question why
exactly.
Zar pulled
But
here.
I would have always
Not
ran this
because
seed.
it can't work out, because
I see the stone, which means I know I can get at least a pickaxe, probably, but I was expecting more, and obviously Zar got more. I see the trees, it's a big space. I would have run this, definitely.
it did. But because like you don't see much here. You see a
But what do you mean I don't see much? I don't see enough stone. I don't see the ladder because you're not going to see the ladder on every seed that you run, and you know you see enough stone to know that it's there. If there's no stone on the screen, it's a different story. But where there's smoke, there's fire, and where there's stone, there's more stone. You know,
ton of land. You see
a ton of land is a good
trees and
thing.
bushes, and you see
Trees and bushes is a
stuff.
good thing. And the thing is, you can already see on the screen, once you get out all of these bushes, first of all, you still won't have the max wood that you need. Like, even if they all rolled fours, you'd get like 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 8. You still wouldn't have like 65, I don't think. So you clear out all of this, you have a huge open space, and that's what Zar does. Um, that's good. Like, there's not too many trees. That's kind of the point I'm trying to get across. There's enough trees that once you mine them, it'll be totally open.
But I can see why people would love to play this seed.
It doesn't seem like you gave any negatives there. You said it's an open space. Maybe there's not enough stone, but like.
Because it gives you you pull it, fine pull here. Fine.
Oh, and
Just know that if you are not anywhere near the territory,
so if you're not anywhere near the territory, you're saying. By saying that, you're essentially making this like, oh, use this guide to inform your future choices when running the game. And that's fine, okay? Because we can take it like that. And if that's true, I think that new players should run this. Because, first of all, the standards are lower, so they don't need a ladder spawn or anything like that to get a good time. The standards are lower for new players. And also, Zar ran this. You would. You're saying you wouldn't. Or you're saying you might not have. But you would run this, I think. If I look at some of your PBs, this is the kind of seed that you would run. I would run this. Armin would probably run this. I think this is a good spawn, and I think that like there's no use in telling new players to just use the luckiest spawns because you can't tell before your first input everything about the seed. So even if the spawn is lucky, the rest of the seed might not be. So I actually think new players should run this. It gives them more experience with the kind of seeds that like actual world records are done on. Because this is, it would have been a world record if Hollow Knight wasn't so fucking lucky. Like that 443 is it? Like that is not okay.
Of a 452, that you don't really need to worry about pulling on seeds like this. Just spawn with a ladder and some like trees and bushes, and you'll be fine. Because navigating a seed like this takes a bit more finesse.
Well, you have to develop that finesse, I guess, is my point.
Which is our here, where the three completely average drops there, and you only need
3 is average, like statistically, but what if you get 3 on one of the trees, you're guaranteed to get enough for a pickaxe. So like, yes, it's average, but like, it's not a negative. I don't know if you were trying to say a negative or
2, so
I don't know.
yeah, it's perfectly fine. Very convenient, by the way. I want to point out that the zombie is down here, where there's this.
Yeah,
Like,
you had a really good point
tree
here.
blocking it.
I didn't notice this, but if Zar did go down here, that would have been better. But I almost want to think that like
It would reduce it and
because
just like right up here. But
I want to see this
there's even
because this zombie came up here. I don't know how the pathing would have turned out, but if Zar was standing here when this zombie came out, it might have ended up attacking him. I don't want to say that for sure, but I'm just thinking like if Zar's here, then the straight line ends up with it against the tree instead of below it. So it might even turn out that aggroing this zombie would get this zombie to come and attack him. But I don't think that necessarily makes it a wrong decision to go down here. Or a wrong decision to not. Like, it worked out for Zar. And I wouldn't say it's that risky. The chance of the zombie coming up here was not low, but it wasn't, like, very, very high either. It's not like Zar got lucky.
even a second one here. So at around this point, right, where you here, but on, you know, throwing that out there. If you want to do it, of course, gets the 20. How many pieces was it? I think
It's
it was
21.
You got or something. Maybe closer to like 33. Keeps the zombie over there to the ladder. 3 acre out of that. That's above average for sure.
Icor, but
That
you know.
wood. I can't really blame Zar for not going to pick it up. It does suck. It kind of like.
yeah, no,
walk out
it's water and it's against the trees, so you would have to mind the bushes. It's awkward.
through lower.
I want to
which
speed
is-
this up instead of
it's much more
skipping
likely
through
that,
it.
For example, these pieces of wood.
So that I
don't
don't
go
miss
into the water. The
anything.
impact is basically 0 versus this like tree, which can have 2 of them go out there, and now you have 3 pieces of wood you won't collect. So just, I think it was probably a better decision not to go pick that up because it was.
I agree.
For gamers who say, "Wow, missed it." L. There you go.
Wow, missed it.
Also, beautiful pathing. I know. I watched Lily's announcement before this.
Yes, you did.
I
And
watched her video
and the
before she
pathing
did it.
is
I do
great.
want to say it. Beautiful pathing. Like, got everything right. She went into detail specifically about this part. Which TLB go any further. Gets even more zombies. This is like a lot of zombies.
It is. It's Zar. It's
And
Zar
This
zombies.
kind of sucked though. I can't blame Zar because if you're innocent,
I
he's
mean,
really good.
you say it
And-
sucks, but Zar would not have gotten the right amount if he went for these anyway. So like, might as well go for that tree. And keep in mind that Zar knows that the other tree is there. Like, he has to get to another tree to get the zombie. The thing is, you could argue that, oh, he could have mined the stone, he could have shoveled the sand to keep the EBM low, but look at how high the stamina is. If he mines this tree, immediately switches to, like, stone pickaxe or shovel, I'm not convinced that the bar wouldn't have filled. I'm just saying.
This kind of
like,
sucked though. I can't blame Zar.
I
because if
I
you're in a
don't think it
situation where you're
sucks, but
walking around
I'll hear you out.
going for like that wood when you're so close to the max amount of wood, it's like 65 that you need. It's not worth it because you may chop that one and get max, but then you'll see later, since he had it in mind, you can't kill that zombie. So it was probably best you didn't pick any of that up.
Wait, so
But
why are you
really
saying
close
that it
to the max because
sucked?
and it's really good. And this kind of sucked though. I can't blame Zar because if you're in a situation where you're walking around, and you don't pick up any wood, going for like that wood when you're so close to the max amount of wood.
So you're agreeing with
65 that you
me.
need, it's not worth it because you may chop that one and get max, but then you'll see later, since he had it in mind, you can't kill that zombie. So it was probably best you didn't pick any of that up. But it's a shame he mined it in the first place and left it, you know?
Right, okay, you're right. The decision to mine it in the first place was the bad part. I can agree with that, because, I mean, look at where he was.
and it's really good.
Yeah, he didn't need to mind that at all. Yeah, you're right. The decision making was questionable. Okay.
So I am a nerd. Right here, bar's full. I
So you're saying you would have mined the stone. I would have gone the other direction. I would switch to shovel here to get some sand. Primarily because, like I said before, you don't want to have too much stone before you go underground. It's something I'm guilty of a lot of the time, but I don't like. It's just a rule of thumb. Like because the thing is, like you say later in the video, oh you could like mine the stone, but then you're leaving stone upstairs. That's not necessarily true because you could come back up and mine it later, and that's fine because you know if the underground doesn't have a lot of like the alternative is that you end up with too much stone, and I just think that's worse.
yeah, the way mining room to picking things because
Okay, this is something I had a problem
because
with
then you
actually.
waste energy that could have been regenerated later. Going up to pick it like the floating one, that simple of a definition. Czar, by the way, mining out most of that stone, going up to pick it like the floating one
Yeah.
over here, right? Didn't reach max, so he emptied on this like piece of stone. Most
Yes.
of the hits were done,
Okay.
which meant he had enough room to pick it up and go back, and then could just mine another one, and then be perfectly fine. Beautiful, absolutely stellar. That is like peak bar management.
So you say that's peak bar management. I want to disagree. That is basic bitch bar management. Let's type in EBM is just. What's the first thing Armin ever said about EBM? EBM is just breaking things twice and collecting it. That's what Czar did here. Czar just broke two blocks and then collect
Czar, by
the
way,
results.
mining out most of that stone.
That's not peak EBM. That is basic EBM. That is like Czar said. No, sorry, Armin said this ages ago. This is not like peak EBM. Peak EBM is completely different, in my opinion. That this moment peeved me a little because I remember what Armin said.
It also gets all the stone up here. Lily has already pointed out it's a risky, bisky move.
Risky bisky. We're moving on.
But it's perfectly fine. And the cave usually gives you an escape that isn't stone. And if it is stone, you only lose maybe like half a second. So it's fine. Like if there's a layer of stone here or something that you had to mine through to get to this ore.
Well, sure, if there's a layer of stone here, that's not a big deal. But what if like what if you mine like 4 iron ore and the rest of the iron ore is behind stone and then the gems are behind stone? Like all of this is possible and it's happened to us before. Like it wouldn't be crazy to see that. I just think it's a good rule of thumb. Czar got lucky here. It's not even the best cave ever, but he got lucky.
It's not that bad. And maybe getting an extra zombie out of your top layer is probably worth it, honestly.
Like you're saying maybe getting an extra zombie out of your top layer, and I understand where that mentality comes from, but I have to say that first of all, zombies can't spawn on the tiles around the ladder. Like on those 8 tiles, in fact, I think it might even be a wider range, but zombies can't spawn that close to you. So it doesn't matter, like, mining the things around the they don't have a chance to spawn there. So it's not as helpful as you think. But even if the stone was, like, up here and he was mining it, that still wouldn't be good because, first of all, when he goes down and he sees that there's not stone blocking his way, he can just mine this later. And then when he goes down and he sees that there is stone there, he'll be thankful he didn't mine this before he went into the cave. So I empirically disagree. Like, I don't know what the word empirically means. Yeah, I empirically disagree. I really think that the words you're saying are misguided.
It's not that bad. But anyway, here we are in good old-fashioned Jamor mining territory, where you
Yep,
sit there and
Jamor mining territory.
So, I bet getting all 10 was stressful for the next dude. Likes to mine the iron ore, I see. I notice and I appreciate it.
The fuck does that mean? Likes to mine the iron ore. You have to do that to make the bow.
In the midst of doing,
I get it. You're talking about how it's in between the Jamors, but like everyone does that.
So you might as well get some iron knocked out. That was like a max drop zombie, by the way. That's kind of nuts. And yeah, I assume at this point just knocking out the rest of the iron, and then go do the final Jamor, because that's usually how things go. You want to square things away and all that, you know. Get all the iron done, because it's there and you have benched it. You might as well. Makes things easier to remember. Now, it's 4 here. Yep, easy 4. Even before collecting the last one, let's go.
Yeah.
I do notice the slower movement there. So there's maybe like 1 point in this sand mining where Zar loses movement speed, but it's fine. Like it's once, which is pretty good considering that it's
Yeah,
in Star Wars. A lot
his
of times
sand
range
mining
is
was
just for
good. It
pressing
wasn't
the buttons and helping people
optimal,
out.
but
There's a zombie right here. I
really
think
can't
personally,
complain about it.
obviously Zar's gonna kill it. Usually
Especially when
start
you
looking
watch
for zombies to
Armin's.
see where their stuff is. I don't know if Zar
No
does that,
offense,
but she
but
does. This is a
like,
closed off area because I don't think Zar's running going uphill because the surface is good enough. Poor management. I'm gonna call it out because I'm a nerd. Yeah, notice how the bar's full right there? It was full
yeah.
for a little bit. Not enough to matter, but I still love pointing it out because
No, it
it's
matters. You can point it
so now
out.
we get to zombie stuff. The one spot, which was pretty hard to get to, has a zombie in it, which is quite unfortunate. I personally think that Zar should have gone right first, and then preparing to ladder again, go left, because this zombie could have wandered out and would have made it easier to get.
That
and
is
it would have
true.
wasted less bar, but
Yeah,
frankly,
I
it's
don't
not
think
because no
anyone
guarantee
would have
of
thought
drops and
that.
all that and whatever. You may be seeing that and thinking, why did he go out of his way to pick that one up, right? Like he was over here, he's already about halfway there, the bar's not looking too good. Well, that zombie's far away, and say it drops 2 acre that are kind of far apart. You're gonna lose this bad boy, so you're gonna have to go back and get it.
Yeah,
You're
no,
just gonna have to.
you
Because
don't
time
take
lost, step by
chances
step.
with
Goes in
Icar.
the cave to grind zombies. I respect it. I usually don't do this because it's maybe like
EBM stops mattering when you're at the zombies anyway. Like, when the zombies are the last thing to do, you're not keeping your bar empty.
The cave as well, definitely respectful. Getting 3 zombies out of the cave was very nice, so I think it worked out well. Generally, you don't kill zombies in cave.
Generally, don't you kill zombies in caves is wrong. It depends on your luck, because if the cave is bad, then you don't do it. But to optimize your zombie killing, you gotta use both to the best of your ability. And if the cave gives you no opportunity to do it, then sure. But if your cave is like really open and good, then of course you're gonna use it to kill zombies. Sometimes it's even in a better place than your upstairs, and I'm pretty sure like the odds are just as good. So there's no reason to avoid killing them uh,
You know, that's just how Zar rolls.
downstairs. But
I see 3 zombies that are around here. 4 zombies. Kind of nuts. So
yeah, the zombie
for
luck
instance,
is just
look at
insane.
that pace, dude. Could have gotten a ridiculous time. I think maybe it was like 5 seconds. Yeah, we'll estimate like 5 seconds when Zar started, right? Probably could have gotten world record had
Yeah.
Zar just gotten that final acre. Maybe the zombie that didn't drop anything dropped 1.
Yeah,
If Zar Minion
if the
in a 15 seconds, which is average, would have gotten a world
if the
record,
zombie
which is
luck was
insane.
better,
And
which
not
is
only
stupid to say
probably
because the
not.
Zar zombies are
But anyway,
insane
interesting
already.
that Zar went through that path. I usually find myself trying to peruse the coast because it's closest, you know. But I can respect it. Like for example, maybe going down this route, which I
I
haven't
think-
found the zombie that well anyway by doing that. But yeah,
I think the
cruise.
cruise
It looked like that would have
cruising
been
the
easiest route
coast is the wrong
slower
call
routes, okay.
here.
A little bit of a fumble, it's fine. You punch the tree and all that.
Yeah,
It's
his
anyway,
smashing was bad.
this zombie was posing 0 threat after Zar began.
Yes, we know.
So it's no problem at all. Zar, decision he makes and why. I don't disagree with anything outright. There are a couple things that I would have done different, but then again, I'm not the one who survived just a day ago.
I think this is the interesting thing, and one of the reasons I decided to make the video right now is so that I don't lose this thought in my head. But it seems like between the top 4, maybe top 5, Andrew probably has some things to say about this game. But between us, there is a perfect runner. Like, all the decisions that Hollow Knight makes that I disagree with, and all the decisions that I make that Aramin disagrees with, and all of the mistakes that are the decisions that Zar makes that, like, you know, like, if we all combined our decision making, our thought processes, there would be a mean runner between us. Like, there are some things in this video where Hollow Knight is objectively wrong. Mining the stone before you go into the ladder, I don't think that's a matter of opinion. And I'm not going to, like, pretend that it is. Because I do think that's just completely incorrect. But Hollow Knight makes a lot of good points that I wouldn't have thought of. Not that I would never, like... Not that I... Like, they're not surprising. When Hollow Knight points out that you can lure the zombie into the corner, it's like, I knew that, but I don't think I would have thought to do that in that context. There are times where I have lured aggroed zombies on purpose to make them less dangerous, but I don't think in that context it would have been something that I chose. Hollow Knight was right to say that, and Hollow Knight made some other good points that I've forgotten about now, but like... And so I think between us, there's a perfect runner in there.
At this point, pretty much
Which is why being in voice call can actually be OP. Like unironically, having like three sub fivers in voice call with me might actually might be overpowered. You've seen that like melee meme where it's like the pills and the orange pill I think was like you can have like the all of the retired top players coaching you during a game. That's basically what voice calling with big business is.
Theatric for speedrunning. I'm old, and Czar's not. So whatever I say is right. You can throw it up in the air. I did also notice a few smaller things I want to point out for those of you who are extra nerd. Czar's
I
not
don't
new
want
here.
to talk about this.
Even maybe he lost like 2 seconds over the course of this due to his game. Is better at this game than I am.
Oh yeah, so here we go.
My 456, I lost more seconds than Czar did in this run due to execution and not luck, which is ridiculous to think about.
It's true.
It's crazy. I think Czar, honestly, is better at this game than I was.
I won't disagree with this. Mainly because I don't feel as though I'm informed enough. It just when you sub 5'd, I was not paying attention to your runs as much. I wasn't a Stranded Isle player then. So while the sub 5 was impressive and it meant a lot, I can't get a real gauge of your skill around that time. I would say that the 443, since it's played worse than your 450X, maybe bad example. Because I think if you compare the time lost in your 450X to Czar's 452, it would probably be more similar than the 443. The 443 was carried by luck. So yeah.
At my peak, of like being able to execute.
Czar's godlike. Czar made a lot of great decisions here, and and has an amazing like tenacity to keep playing this game. It scared us a couple times, like last year. I think around November, December-ish, where Czar was like, yeah, I don't know if I'll come back. I don't know if I'll sub 5. It wasn't until he got like a 510X that it seemed certain. Like before that point, it was almost like, oh, Czar might not sub 5. But we always knew, like, since he got like, well, I want to say almost like sub 6, but probably around the sub like 540, 530, we knew that he had it in him. Czar's really good at this game and picked it up so much more quickly. And to be fair, Czar had people to learn from. But I don't want to use that to discredit the amazing growth that we've seen from him. Because the thing is, if you look at the time between like when Czar joined the game to like now, it doesn't seem that impressive compared to, I don't know, the time it took Armin and Hollow Knight to sub 5. Like it's not that much faster, but considering the amount of hours Czar put in compared to those two, and I'm not saying he put in less or more than Hollow Knight necessarily, but I'm saying that those hours were maybe better spent. Just like the any percent grind for Czar was super real. And it always felt like this was gonna happen.
Than Armin 2, honestly.
Okay, better than Armin 2. I'm gonna disagree with this. I think that peak Armin is not his sub 5 anyway. So Armin peaked after the sub 5. He just never improved on the sub 5. And I think that Armin, he definitely deserves more credit here. I think that Armin, I'm not going to say that he's definitely the best player to ever play this game, because I feel like that would be a bit unfair. But what I will say about Armin's sub 5 versus Hollow Knight and Czar's is that for Armin's entire grind, he put up with worse luck than both of you. When I joke about like Czar zombies or Hollow Knight luck, both of those things are actual phenomenon that exist in the world. Armin's luck is genuinely worse than you two, and like it's observably true. Even if you look at his sub 5, I bet like if you crunch the numbers, his like odds were probably worse than yours. Armin's fucking good at this game. And I don't want to say like he's definitely better than Czar, but and even in this video you say that you're not sure if you would definitely say that, but like I want to be the one to say that I think Armin, I don't think Czar has overtaken. Czar hasn't shown me enough to think that, oh, he's definitely better than Armin, which is funny considering he's like 6 seconds faster in any percent.
At the point where he got sub 5, but I would be willing to accept a no for that, and people like counterpoint and say that Armin's actually better. I think that's sensible to make, but for sure better than me when I was sub 5ing. Just kind of crazy, you know? I don't really have that much closing stuff to say. I think it's really cool seeing Zar rise up like this. And
It is. I hope that Zar's not done with the game. I know that like sub 5ing is almost like it feels like a freedom, and I know this because like Hollow Knight was so relieved when they sub 5'd, and Armin was like done with the game, but now Armin's not done with the game. Maybe he's not actively grinding it, but like he still plays any percent. Hollow Knight continued to play any percent, but then they always were going to. I don't think Hollow Knight intended to quit after sub 5 in the first place, but definitely, they definitely felt that relief. And I hope that Zar keeps playing this game. I hope that Zar takes world record. But if he doesn't, and that's not something he wants to do, then I respect that as well. Because he came here, he did something that very few people have done, very few people can do. And it has created such an amazing... I loved watching this run. Because it just, it felt like it was, it's like a, it's like fucking, you know, like Metroid Dread, right? They announced it in like 2000, or they didn't, they kind of teased it in like 2006. And then it finally came out and everyone's happy and everyone loves it. Zar's been teasing us with a sub 5 since he joined this fucking community. Because if anyone was because we get new people sometimes, like when people join, they exist. But Zar from the beginning felt like a completely different kind of player to the Inception speedruns or the Fibble or the, you know, it was different, and he stayed around, and the whole journey of Zar, like joining SI, not even thinking it's good, and then joining big business somewhere in the middle, and then sub 5ing. It's such a cool story, and I really like that I've gotten to know Zar, because Zar's one of the coolest speedrunners I know. And that goes for Hollow Knight and Armin too. Like, we all met through this game. Well, Hollow Knight and Zar, Champion Island, but we all met through this game, or at least connected through it. And you're all awesome speedrunners, and you're all awesome people. So it's really cool to see this. Basically, is what I'm saying. I'm just proud of you, Zar. That's all.
Say that 1,000 times and never get tired of it. Zar should be very proud of this run.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be willing to call this perhaps the best executed sub 5 that this game has seen. I would go that far.
Best sub 5? Yeah, probably.
You can spot obvious mistakes. For Zar, I would have to pause and be a nerd and say bar management, which maybe lost like a second, and menuing was not the best.
Yeah.
You know, maybe hit a tree and all that, but that's like one punch. Over the
one
course
punch.
Of maybe lost 2 seconds when you expect the average of maybe 15, 14 and a half seconds for menuing. And for a run like this, being able to, you know, calm down and menu like that, Zar said that like freaking he didn't know he was on this pace until after the run, which is really funny. So just not being aware of the time.
Yeah, maybe not having a timer is actually a good thing.
I know that was probably the biggest thing that.
I mean, maybe he had the timer, but the nerves.
Whenever getting close, and he did it. Finally managed to overcome that. So the fact that he only hit the tree with like one punch and maybe didn't mash that fast, I don't care. When looking at that, what I see.
Yeah.
Is someone who
the mistakes are there, but they're not that bad.
Could not even menu that fast at all. Become the second place runner in this game and be able to stay calm during this run.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, thank you for
the
watching
mental
this.
aspect of Stranded Isle is the hardest part.
I don't think I explained as much. I just kind of more generally talked about my feelings.
The mental aspect of Stranded Isle is the hardest part. Zar, Armin, Hollow Knight all conquered it, and I'm on my way, guys. Like, you know, I feel like I don't have an analogy for this, but I do feel like I'm on my way. Like, I genuinely, maybe I'm not running the game right now, but I genuinely feel like it's gonna happen. Like, I feel very strongly about that. If there's one thing, I feel like I'm gonna sub 5. Not to make the video about me, obviously, but like, I'm on my way. You guys did it before me, and you've shown me it's possible. And most of all, like, I find these videos inspiring because you are just people. Like, you're just people on my phone, on the internet, you know. And you've done this, and I can't do this. And it inspires me to think that maybe I can do it. So I'll see you in the next one. where hopefully I'll be analyzing Hollow Knight's analysis of my sub 5. See you then.